Whatever happened to Nicol Bolas from Magic the Gathering? Well, let's find out. Thousands of years ago, Nicol Bolas was born from the Ur-Dragon on the plane of Dominaria alongside his twin brother, Ugin. Immediately after being born, they saw humans unalive their sibling, Moravia Sal, and Nicol swore vengeance. Now believing the entire multiverse to be the epitome of survival of the fittest, Bolas trained to make himself smarter and stronger, and eventually tricked all the humans into annihilating one another. And he also conquered all the other Elder Dragons, now making himself ruler of more than half of Dominaria. Seeing his betrayal, Ugin was enraged, and his spark ignited, making him a planeswalker. And just like a real sibling, when Nicol Bolas saw this, he became incredibly jealous. So jealous, in fact, that his spark ignited too, making him into a planeswalker as well. Now both immensely powerful, Ugin and Bolas fought across the multiverse, and Bolas eventually unalived Ugin in the Blind Eternities, the space between planes. He would then return to Dominaria and rule for hundreds of years, before being assassinated by Tetsuo Umezawa. But, you know, Deus Ex Gata Machina, and since Dominaria was plagued with time rifts, Nicol Bolas simply reached into the past and grabbed a previous version of his body, allowing him to be reborn. He would continue his dominion over Dominaria, and plan to battle all of the planeswalkers there, but when the time rifts became too strong, he allowed the planeswalkers Teferi and Jeska to heal the land, which did work, but caused planeswalkers to be much different, now being much weaker and no longer immortal. Bolas would then travel to Amonkhet, where he would conquer it and begin turning its people into zombie slaves. He would strengthen his ranks by working with planeswalkers Tezzeret and the necromancer Liliana Vess, before making plans to conquer Alara, Mirrodin, and to set the Eldrazi free on Zendikar. This drew the attention of the Gatewatch, who planned to overthrow Nicol Bolas, but it turns out that his grand plan was on Ravnica. He schemed with Niv Mizzet to bring all the planeswalkers in existence there, where he could then feast upon their sparks using the immortal sun. Luckily though, for all of existence, Liliana pulled a 180, and sent the entirety of the horde of Amonkhet zombies to attack Nicol Bolas. Thanks to the power of the Gatewatch, he lost his spark and all of his power, and then he was met by his brother Ugin, who was resurrected by even more time travel shenanigans. He imprisoned his brother in the meditation plane with no magic and no memory of who he was. This would hold him for years until Jace Beleren visited the meditation plane, and he accidentally damaged it when his powers were overwhelmed by the region. Bolas escaped, and much later, a wounded Ugin would show up on Tarkir, telling everybody that Nicol Bolas was back, and that the fate of the entire multiverse was in jeopardy once again.